this whole notion of, momentum shifting and these cyclical areas of the market as you get even further into the reopen. You did have more positive COVID news today regarding the Regeneron antibody treatment. I'm looking at a note that dropped 4 minutes ago from a guy we cite all the time on this show, and it's J.P. Morgan's Marko Kolanovic, Steve Weiss, who says, equities have started to price in the fact that you've had a nice rebound in cyclicals. However, he says, we believe the recovery of cyclicals and value has much further to go. So is that the way that we need to be thinking about this? Maybe take a look at lightening up on some of the quote unquote momentum style plays, more growthy names, and look at the cyclicals now as a place to really drive gains in your portfolio?
Well, I don't think it's a bad strategy. However, I think it's prudent to have more dispersion in terms of what you're modeling in your portfolio. And by that, I mean, if you pure momentum stocks, I mean, those are on a case-by-case basis, and you wake up one morning, momentum dies. Joe spoke about Netflix, which hasn't died. It's done quite well. So to play momentum for the sake of that, that's out, and that's not what you're talking about. The answer is, as new money comes to the market, it looks for areas that are the cheapest. And the cheapest on a PE basis, on a price to revenues basis, happen to be in a lot of the cyclicals and industrial names. And additionally, you had the passage of the bill last night. It's going to take a while, or Saturday, it's going to take a while for that money to come into the market and actually drive revenues of these companies, but that's okay. So the long answer is yes, I believe that you need some pretty good exposure in those areas, but I wouldn't give up the solid companies where the momentum of the fundamentals match momentum in the share price. I think you want to be there as well.
Liz Young, what about these recommended strategies from Tom Lee? Energy has been his number one name, and he's staying with it, along with the builders, as I said. Small caps been at record highs. Then his so-called epicenter stocks. Are those the ones you like?
Well, small cap's on that list, so I think we all know the answer to that. I love a small cap rally, and yes, I like the small cap call. I also like the cyclicals call. The only part of that list that I would be a little bit less excited about is maybe the home builders. I think that a lot of that strength has already been seen. There's probably a backlog that we will get through once supply chain stuff relaxes a bit, and they'll see a nice boost. But that's really the only part of that list that I would be a little more cautious on.